Hi everyone, my name's Danny. Today we're going to be cooking vegetarian stovies. Now the method we're going to use today, you can just do these in a traditional way with like corned beef or however you would maybe usually make your stovies, but I thought maybe give a veggie option, just give that a try today. And it's something we've done in the past and it works really well and it's really tasty. So to start off with, I thought I'd just explain the ingredients. So you've got your potatoes, we've got carrots, we've got onions, we've got garlic, and we've got the vegetarian sausages. Now you can get these are the fancy ones, Linda McCartney ones, but you can get also ones from, I think, Aldi, and they're like about £1, you get them in a bag. Super quick, super easy to use, and really tasty as well, and as I say, vegetarian if that's what you'd prefer. I've also got a wee drop oil and some mixed herbs as well that we'll use, and some vegetarian stock as well. So to start off with, what we'd want to do is start off with prepping your vegetables. So what we're going to do is we're going to chop the onions first, and then chop the garlic. And there is a little trick to that actually, because you have to peel the garlic. It can be really fiddly and really annoying. But what you can do is if you press down your knife onto it with the blade facing away from you, if you push it down, it'll kind of help to squish it a bit, and then it'll come off really easily. It'll peel super easy. So that's a really handy little tip. You can also use like the base of a spoon or something if you prefer. Obviously if you want to be conscious about safety with the knife, but if you've got the blade facing away from you and press down, that will help to peel your garlic as well. So you want to chop your onion and your garlic, and then you'd also want to prep some of your potatoes and your carrots. Okay, another tip with prepping your veg, with the potatoes and carrots, now it's maybe because I'm just lazy, but I don't peel them, but there is a lot of nutrition in the skins of your potatoes and your carrots. So as long as you give them a little rinse and give them a little wash, they'll be good to go. And as I say, I find that there's more nutrition and they do add a bit of flavour as well. But you can totally peel them if you prefer. I just prefer not to. And in terms of the sizes as well, just so it boils a bit quicker, I'd quarter your potatoes, or if you've got some large potatoes, maybe cut them into smaller pieces. Just find that they'll cook a bit quicker in the pot, so it won't have to be on the boil for as long. And the same with your carrots as well. You can slice them however you want. If you want them chunky within the recipe, I'm just going to cut them into slices and then quarter that to put it in. So they're a bit smaller, a bit finer, and again they'll cook a little bit quicker. With your sausages, what you want to do is make sure you take them out about an hour before you want to cook, and just leave them sitting on a plate at room temperature, just so they'll have a bit of time to soften up. Or you can put them in the microwave for sort of 1-2 minutes just to get them softened up as well, ready for cooking later. Okay, so now that everything is chopped, rather badly if you follow my techniques, but you can do it all your own way. So if you've got everything chopped and prepared, what you want to do at this stage as well is get your stock ready. So you see 250 millilitres of stock. You can use maybe 300, 400, 500, depending on the size of portion of stovies you want to make. But if you crumble in your stock cube into your jug, add your hot water, you can leave that to set aside just for a couple of minutes. Now what you want to do next is you want to put your onions and your garlic in the pot first with a little bit of oil, just on a low heat, and we're just going to cook that just for a couple of minutes until the onions begin to soften. You'll start to see them going a little bit translucent and softening, so that's what you want to do initially. And then the next step will be adding in our carrots and our potatoes, and we just want to stir that around the pot just to coat them a little bit in the oil with the onions and the garlic. And then we're going to add the mixed herbs. Now it always says like teaspoon, tablespoon. I just add as much as I want, and I always add quite a lot. So you just want a generous shake of that in there, stir that through, just to get everything coated nicely, and then we're going to add the stock in. And so once you've done that, you pour your stock in, and we're going to leave that to simmer for maybe 5 minutes, just to give things a chance to soften up and absorb some of the water, and we'll just leave that on a low boil. And then the next step will be adding in our sausages, which I'll explain in just a second. Okay, now that everything's in the pot boiling away, again you want to just leave everything to boil just to give everything a chance to soften up. You can now prepare the sausages. Now all you need to do with them, now that they've softened up a bit themselves, you just want to chop them maybe into half or into 4, and what we'll do is once we feel like the potatoes and things have started to soften up enough, we'll then add the sausages in last, and they'll just kind of cook in with everything else as well. So you just want to give a check. You put your fork into the potato, see if it's softened up enough for you, and then add in the sausages at that point. And you want to leave that to then cook for maybe another sort of 5 minutes or so, just to give everything a chance to cook. So it'll really just depend on what you've got in the pot, how much you've put in, depending on how long it has to cook in the pot for. Okay, so now that everything's been in the pot and boiling away, what you want to do is just check to see if you're happy enough with the vegetables, in particular potatoes and your carrots. Just, we stick a wee fork in them, see if they're soft enough for you. And at this point as well, you just want to check to see if you think there's maybe too much liquid potentially. You can always just drain a little bit of the liquid out, or if you're happy enough that you think that it's reduced enough and it's evaporated enough and it's kind of absorbed into everything, you could then move on to mashing. If you feel like maybe the liquid still needs a little bit of time, you could just take the lid off your pot and then you could just leave it exposed, and what that'll do is the liquid will evaporate that a little bit quicker, we call that reducing, so it'll just reduce down a bit more, and then you can stir that through and then you'll be ready to mash from there. Okay, so I'm just going to start mashing now. So you just want to make sure you let the heat escape from your pot before you start doing that. Maybe just give it a quick stir first actually, just to stir the liquid through and all the ingredients together. And then just get ready to mash. And at this point you'd maybe just want to add in some salt and pepper to taste, as much as you like either way. The stock does have quite a lot of salt in it, and you can get reduced salt stock as well, so that will be quite salty, but give it a wee taste, and then you can add in some salt and pepper. Even if once you've mashed it you can get a wee taste for it yourself and decide what you want to do from there. So we'll just give it a wee mash. So even though it's got the skins on, everything should be soft enough that it'll all break down quite well in the pot. So this is a laborious bit, but everything is pretty soft and it's coming together quite nicely in the pot here, so it should be fine. And so just mash it down to the consistency that you prefer. Okay, now that everything's been mashed, and again you're happy with the consistency, I left mine a little bit chunky so you can still see some of the carrots and some of the potatoes in there, but you can mash it right down, just totally up to you what you prefer. At this stage as well, you can maybe add some salt and pepper, or maybe once you've mashed it up, add it to taste. The stock does have quite a lot of salt in it. You can get reduced salt stock, so that is, as I say, the stock is quite salty, but give it a wee taste and then you can add in some salt and pepper to whatever you prefer. So just going to serve it up just now in the bowl, and what you can do as well at this point, before you serve it or afterwards, I love to add in some baked beans to my Stovies, so you can always add that in to bulk it out, and I always find that really tasty. And you've got it just ready like that. So it's never going to look great because it is Stovies, it is going to look like kind of mushy, but I promise it is really tasty. Just wish you the best of luck with the recipe, and I really hope you enjoy.